Are you ashamed of the smells coming from your colon? Now, I know this can be a pretty tough topic to talk about, but did you know that you do not have to smell as bad as you do? Did you know that your eliminations, that your bowel movements don't have to smell as bad as they do now? Most people walk around with 15 to 20 pounds of uneliminated fecal matter in their gut, this toxic, slimy, mucousy waste that's just sitting in there that goes uneliminated because people don't know how to properly eat. They don't know how to safely and permanently and properly eliminate this waste. And so it goes uneliminated. And because of that, people have problems with their colon. They end up getting the intestines taken out, colon cancers, and so on and so forth. So today, we're going to talk about how you can deal with this nasty stench that comes from you. I'm not saying you get rid of it all, but you know that we can totally transform. Maybe you don't know yet, but you will know when we get done talking here how you can transform the smell of your overall body, of your eliminations, everything to be totally different than it is now. Getting rid of that dead animal stench, that dairy stench, that overall stench of being backed up with fecal matter. We're going to take care of that today. Stay tuned. I'm Professor Spira, and I've practiced something called the Mucusless Diet Healing System for over 18 years, and I've helped thousands of people transform their lives using the methods found in that great book. And today we're going to talk about stench, what that stench is, and how we can eliminate the worst of it. So most people walk around, and if you're eating dead animal flesh or eating the dairy, not only do you have symptoms of mucus in your nose and throat, and maybe you go through cold and flu-like symptoms, period, and you get the croup cough and coughing things up, and then they come and they tell you that you have this virus or this, they give you these pills or whatever. This is not medical advice. You do what you want to do. We're just talking about mucus, and we're talking about uneliminated fecal matter. All disease, as Arnold Ehret says in the Mucusless Diet Healing System book, all disease begins in the colon. Everybody that's sick, everybody that has any kind of or is diagnosed with some kind of cancer, some kind of ailment, if they say that they've died of a virus, whatever it is, all of these people are constipated and constipated with toxic waste in their colons. Decades old feces stones, mucoid plaque, built up of sometimes 20, 30 pounds of uneliminated fecal matter. But what if you were to eliminate that waste? What if you were to eliminate the decades old feces stones, the mucoid plaque? What if you were to eliminate that out of your system and then regularly eliminate properly and not leave behind slimy residues that then over years and decades turn into this very, very concentrated, nasty smelling gunk inside the body? Arnold Ehret wrote his Mucusless Diet Healing System book around 1920. And he, with the information in that book, he saved the lives of thousands of people that were declared incurable. And one of the most important principles of that book is to clean out your colon. To clean it out by way of what you put into your body, doing things like what we call combination salads and intestinal brooms. The proper kind of salad can help you move this stuff through. Eating fruit the right way can help you move this stuff through. But then in addition to just what is being eaten, also what we do in terms of an ancillary therapy that we like to call lemon juice and distilled water enemas. Now, the lemon juice and distilled water enema, Eric recommended doing water enemas, especially during fasting. So the entire system, the entire Mucusless Diet Healing System is comprised of a transitional diet methodology along with rational fasting methodology, also combined with colon irrigation, sunbathing, rational forms of exercise. And there's a few other nuggets in there, but that's the basis. But the key is the system. You can't just it's not a foodless diet. You can't just go and look at a food list and think that you're practicing the Mucusless Diet Healing System. It's about the transition. It's about the system. But a very important part of that is the lemon juice and distilled water enemas for us. Now, Eric didn't recommend lemon necessarily in the enemas, but that is something that modern day Mucusless Diet Healing System practitioners have incorporated into their practice, and it has pretty much become standard among most Mucusless Diet practitioners that I know. Everybody practices differently, and that's the beauty of Eric's system. It's not a cookie cutter kind of thing. Everybody's situation is different. All the principles are the same. We're all governed by the same principles, but the way those principles are applied is customizable to each person. So everybody has their own schedule, they have their own situation, their own stuff, and their own physiology. They have their own addictions, their own cravings to certain kinds of food, and so the methods are adaptable to what everybody is doing, whatever everybody's going through. Arnold Ehret said, look, you got to clean that colon out. That is the foundation of human illness. Every time you see somebody that's sick, go to a hospital and you see a building that is full of people with uneliminated fecal matter and fetid toxic waste in their system. And we do not yet have the consciousness in the medical arena, in the hospital arena, to understand that when somebody comes into a sanctuary of healing and is that sick and that filthy, the first thing you need to do is clean out their colon. Please and thank you. Clean that out first. If all disease and if the seat of disease is in the colon, then why don't we clean that first? Arnold Ehret wrote that in 1920, and 100 years later, they still haven't caught up. Every emergency room, every hospital room should have an enema kit, a colonic system, juicers, and every hospital should grow their own produce. I know we're getting a little too advanced, but it shouldn't be. It should already be here. Like that frustrates me because I'm saying this stuff and people are like, wow, that's a good idea. It was a good idea 100 years ago. Now it's just ridiculous that it hasn't happened yet, but I digress. You gotta clean your colon out. So if you take lemon juice and distilled water, heat that up, and we have a video on lemon juice and distilled water enemas. Check that video out, the step-by-step process of how to do it properly. But when you start to clean yourself out and you combine that with the transition diet, the combination salads, strategically using the fruit, you gotta see that fruit is powerful. You gotta be careful with that fruit. People abuse the fruit and they end up paying for it. And when I say that, they try to do these really long fruit fasts and without any kind of transition, and it's problematic. And so cleaning up the colon is so important. Clean up the system. Because, man, it's deep. It's deep out here, y'all. That's not even the topic of this discussion, but we see the brother back here, and it's like, I want this information for everybody, because there's a lot of folks that, one thing we want to do this year, later this year, me and Brother Eric are gonna go out and do fresh juice to some homeless folks, you know, go out on the streets, put some fresh juice together, and juice like right there. I got my little juicer now that I can take out, and give a little education, because, you know, whatever situation that people are in, if you have any kind of consciousness and the will to do anything, you can start to make a change and a transition. So I'm passionate about everybody getting this information. Like, if you can't afford to go to Whole Foods, it doesn't matter. If you live someplace where there is no Whole Foods, there is a produce section. It might not be organic, but like I said, what we're talking about now is not about perfection, it's about results. It's not about perfection, it's about results. Don't get caught up in thinking that it all has to be perfect, it all has to be organic, that it all has to be the, you know, mucusless right off. It's like, nah, this is about a transition. And if you live in a place, you know, they call them, I don't know what the proper PC term these days is, but there's developing countries or wherever you're at. If you're in a place that just doesn't have resources, there's still a way for you to transition. There's always a way. So in conclusion to our original topic, getting rid of that stench. One thing, on a personal story, when I started getting into the Mucusless Diet Healing System, I started peeling off and losing all this weight and feeling so much better. And I noticed I wasn't smelling as bad, you know, just I could smell myself. I noticed that, but I noticed how bad other people smell that I never noticed before. And there was the same stench that came off of a lot of different people. And I came to realize that is this dead animal stench that from person to person to person that eats the dead animals. There's this stench that you can't smell unless you get off of the dead animal flesh. You can't smell that. And so I got really sensitive to that. These days, you know, I know how to kind of filter things out, and you kind of learn how to exist, and I'm not around that many meat eaters, you know. It's just in my life I don't cross paths that often nowadays, you know. Used to, you know, I was in school, I was around it all the time. You want to clean yourself out, and you're gonna feel so much better, you're gonna smell so much better. And your eliminations, it's not gonna smell like you just left something dead, some old dead body in the bathroom, because you will not have. You will not be eliminating dead bodies anymore. You know, now granted, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while for you to clean yourself out, get into these enemas, get into the fasting, get in, you know, let this stuff move on through. It's gonna take a while, but it can be done, and you can smell 20 times better than you do right now. Your eliminations can smell better, be less sticky, have that mucus residue. You can get to a point when you're eating mucus-free for long enough where you don't have that residue at all. Like when you wipe, there's very little residue left to wipe. You know, that's how it should be. We shouldn't be, you know, having to dig in and, you know, get all this old, it's kind of nasty. But check out where I'm at. I'll give you, this is park, I think it's called Biscayne Park, maybe, Miami. So I thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go down below, click the link, check out 5 free recipes when you sign up for the Mucus-free Life Insiders Club. If you're not signed up yet, you definitely want to sign up. There's a lot of information that we share. There's a lot of fun that we have in that group. When you plug into the social dynamic that we got going on, we have support groups. Coaching is going to be happening soon. mucus-free coaching. We got a private membership association coming out. We've got a lot of stuff that's coming out. You want to be plugged in to the newsletters, to the community. Sign up right now. Get your 3 free PDFs. Great gifts that get you started just learning about the Mucusless Diet Healing System. If you're not ready to check the book out, but of course, I recommend check out the book, Mucusless Diet Healing System by Professor Arnold Arad. Our annotated, revised, and edited edition is available for your perusal. Links down in the description. And if you really want to just cut right into the front of the line and really learn and understand the Mucusless Diet Healing System, you want to be a part of our Mucusless Diet Healing System e-course, you can enroll right now. The link is down below. The price isn't going to stay as low as it is right now for too much longer. So you want to, if you have any interest at all, I would definitely suggest that you enroll right now. The folks that are enrolled in this course say that we have people that have been through other courses, other certification courses, and themselves who run certification courses in other naturopathic fields, and they all rave about the Mucusless Diet Healing System e-course. And it's something that I'm really proud of. I spent years and years on it so that it could be the definitive educational tool for people that want to really learn about the Mucusless Diet Healing System. So link is in the description for that. Thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, I want you to check this out right here. This is a great video that I made just for you. Wonderful video. So I want you to click right here, and I will see you over there. Peace, love, and breath.